costing $6.98 Canadian. Is this frozen microwave TV dinner worth it? This is P.F. Chang's broccoli and beef. This is a frozen meal that I picked up at the grocery store. It cooks in minutes in the microwave, but costing almost $7 Canadian. Is this meal any good? So for those of you that are frequent visitors to the frozen food aisle, like myself, you know that typical frozen meals usually range from, I would say, $2 Canadian on the lower end to maybe $5 Canadian on the higher end. So for this to cost $6.98 Canadian, I mean, this better be the best tasting microwave meal I've ever had. So look, join me. Let's try this TV dinner and let's find out if this is going to be a microwave masterpiece or if this is going to be an overpriced frozen failure. All right, thanks so much for joining me. As always, I am the grocery store dude, and this channel is all about trying interesting grocery store food, including this frozen meal. So here we go. P.F. Chang's broccoli and beef. As I mentioned, price for this was $6.98 Canadian. This is probably the most expensive frozen meal I reviewed on this channel, or at least one of the most expensive meals I've reviewed. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, usually frozen meals are about, $2 to $5 Canadian. So this better taste good, but let's get a closer look and see what's going on. Okay, so this is P.F. Chang's home menu broccoli and beef. This is white rice bowl with broccoli and tender beef in a savory soy and garlic sauce with sesame seed garnish. And also too, here is some additional information from the back of the box. Feel free to go back and press pause if you want to read it more carefully. So visually, it actually looks okay. The portion is actually decent. You get a decent amount of food, it looks like, and it looks like there's a lot of broccoli, a lot of rice, and a lot of beef. So looks wise, it looks okay. Is it worth $7? I don't know, but look, as I always say, it's not about the looks, it's about the taste. So let's give it a taste. I'm gonna try the broccoli first, and then we'll get into the beef and the rice. So let me just try broccoli here. Okay, we'll save the best for last. All right, P.F. Chang's broccoli and beef. Here is the broccoli. First bite, let's go. Yeah, that broccoli was not bad. I could not really taste much of that sauce on that bite, but the broccoli tasted okay, not too mushy, not undercooked, so broccoli is okay. But the star of the show is the beef. So let me try to get a piece of beef here. Just a smaller piece here. Okay, here we go. I'm nervous about this. $6.98 Canadian. This better be the best tasting beef I've ever had from a frozen TV dinner for that price. Let's see. Here we go. I'm nervous about this one. Let's try the beef. Okay, that beef was not that great. That beef was just, it was a little tough. It was a little chewy. It tasted okay. The flavor was not as prominent and as bold as I thought it would. It kind of tastes like, has a little bit of soy sauce and it's a little sweet. But other than that, it was just kind of a dry, chewy piece of beef. So very disappointed in that bite. So far, not so good. Let's try a bit with everything. I didn't try the rice, and it looks like the rice has absorbed a lot of the sauce. So I really think that's where the flavor is going to come in. So let's do this. Let's grab kind of a mega bite here with, we got rice. There's some broccoli there. Let me get some beef here. Is there beef in this bite? Yes, there is. Okay. All right, here we go. So, all right, let's hope this bite is better. Here's a bite with everything. Beef, broccoli, rice, and that sauce. P.F. Chang's. Here we go. Okay, that bite was better when you have it with the rice, and the rice tastes fine, by the way. The rice is actually cooked pretty decently. It's not overcooked, it's not undercooked, and there's definitely more flavor there. So that bite was definitely a lot better. I think the point of this is you're supposed to mix it up together and you're supposed to eat kind of everything at once. So when you do eat it that way, it does taste a lot better. But it's just very average tasting. Now, don't ask me to describe exactly what it tastes like. Again, I can taste the soy sauce. It is a little bit sweet. There's also a little bit of a bitterness in there. It tastes like a beef and broccoli dish you would get at an Asian restaurant. I don't know what else to say. Look, as I always say, I'm not a food reviewer. I'm not a food expert. I'm not a gourmet chef. I'm just some guy. So I can't really break down the flavors and what exactly I'm tasting. I can just tell you if it tastes good or not. And I wouldn't say this tastes bad, but it doesn't taste good. This is just like, eh. So, and I know PF Chang's is a restaurant, right? It's a restaurant, I believe. We don't have PF Chang's where I'm from, but I'm sure the actual restaurant is a lot better than this. But this right now is just a very mediocre tasting dish. Let me take one more bite. And I think I'm ready to give my assessment, actually. Kind of a shorter video. I don't really have too much to say about this. Let me take one more bite and I'll give my final thoughts. All right, here we go. Last bite. Little bit of everything. All right, so today we tried PF Chang's broccoli and beef frozen microwave TV dinner. This costs $6.98 Canadian. Very expensive. Is it worth it? In my opinion, no. This is very expensive. The portion is actually okay, but the taste is just mediocre. Doesn't taste bad. It does not taste bad, but I wouldn't say it tastes good or it tastes great. Broccoli is fine. Rice is fine. The sauce is kind of okay, but that beef, it's dry, it's chewy, it's not savory and tender. It tastes a little better when you mix everything together, when you have the beef and the broccoli and the rice and the sauce, but still overall, this is just a forgettable, mediocre frozen meal. And it's way too expensive, $6.98 Canadian. So PF Chang's broccoli and beef doesn't taste bad, but it doesn't taste good. And no, I would not get this again. All right, well, that formally ends the review. Thanks so much for joining me. Thank you for watching. And if you enjoyed this video, feel free to take 1 second and hit that like button. I would really appreciate it, especially for a small channel like myself. Really helps out a lot. If you want to see me review more interesting grocery store foods, feel free to subscribe. You don't have to subscribe, but if you do subscribe, I'll see you in the next video. Because as always, I am the grocery store dude. And until next time, enjoy these foods. In moderation, of course.